Hey guys, Marshall from Limited Resources here, and yay, it is time for Dark Ascension. So we're doing an 8-4 with Dark Ascension, Innistrad. I'm not going to do any triple Dark Ascension drafts for the videos, but I probably will be doing them. And yeah, so let's just dive right in. First pack is Dark Ascension, and looks like we've got some sweet cards. Our rare is not that sweet for Limited. You can occasionally get something out of it, but I'm just never leaving 6 mana. I'm just never doing a 6 mana counterspell. This guy's very powerful. Markov Warlord comes down and just ends the game quite quickly, but I don't know if he's really where I want to start with. For my first pick, Strangleroot Geist is very strong. Haste, Undying, he gets in there, he beats, he demands attention quite quickly, and then we've also got a Hollowhenge Spirit, which is a very tricky card. Flash flying 2/2 for 4, and it removes target attacking or blocking creature from combat. It leaves you a lot of cool options. There's also some other good spells like a Dawn Treader Elk. There's a Thought Scour, which is okay. Wild Hunger even. I'm going to take the Geist here, though. I still like green-white quite a bit. One of the things that we need to remember is that as we go into the next packs, there's going to be 2 packs of Innistrad here, and 2 packs of Innistrad means that green-white's still, quite a desirable format. Even if it's not like the best 2-color combo out of this set, it's still very, very good. So let's see what we got. We've got a Sudden Disappearance. This is a very, very interesting rare sorcery that basically bounces all of your opponent's non-land permanents until their next end step. So you can get everything out of the way to attack them for the win. Like as a huge falter effect. It'll kill all of their tokens. It'll knock off auras. It'll do all types of crazy stuff. Or not, auras and that kind of stuff. Equipment comes down and it's not equipped anymore. It's very powerful, very cool spell, but I think I just want to kind of keep it simpler for this. I still haven't had a chance to actually run that yet. So that leaves Hollowhenge Spirit, Elgod Inquisitor, or Burden of Guilt. And I'm going to take Burden of Guilt here. Young Wolf's fine too, but I really want to take like the cheap removal spell while we can get it. Ooh. Well, we got a pretty sweet rare here. We got also a sweet uncommon. Lots of good cards in this set, in this pack actually. There's a Thraben Heretic, which is very nice. This bonks cards like that have Undying. When they hit the graveyard, their trigger goes on the stack, and then you can activate this to exile it and prevent the card from coming back. It also just can get in the way of decks like that run zombies that require that kind of thing, but you have to be proactive about it, because since it's part of the cost of the zombie, you can't do it in response to them casting the zombie. You have to do it before they even attempt to cast the zombie. So you have to decide on your turn, like, well, I want to keep him off of his zombie, so I'm going to go ahead and use it right now instead of attacking. And then it's usually better just to attack, but still it has uses like that. I'm going to take Thalia here pretty easily. 2/1 for 2 first strike is already good enough. Like you don't need anything else. And it'll randomly do quite a bit to decks that are not prepared for it as well. All right, another Death's Caress. This card is a clunky removal spell, but it ends it. Once you remove that, it's gone, and it's nice to not have anything. So we've got good picks here, though, for us. We've got a Scorned Villager, an Ulvenwall Bear, an Elgod Inquisitor, and a Midnight Guard. These are all totally fine and will go into our deck. Some of them have different synergies with different things. Midnight Guard can have some neat stuff with tap and untap type artifacts, like the Pinger artifact that's in this set, the Quiver. That's pretty good. Ulvenwall Bear, if you can set up some type of Morbid, is pretty nice. I think I'm going to go with the Inquisitor or the Midnight Guard here. I like the Scorned Villager as well, just as a ramp spell, but I kind of like this lifelink guy that gives you another dude. He just feels like solid value. I'm going to take him. All right. Ooh, we've got some fun stuff. Geez, look at this. So we've got a Niblis of the Mist, so 2/1 flying that taps a guy when you cast it. Totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. We've got a Ghoul Tree here. Each creature in our graveyard. Now, we really want to be in blue to make that work so we can self-mill, so he's not very good in our deck. And then we've also got just a very solid value spell with the Dawn Treader Elk, plus a very, very versatile removal spell here with Destroy Target Creature with flying or an artifact. Very cool card, very main deckable as well. I like that card a lot. Thinking about taking the Elk, although the Niblis of the Mist is probably quite a nice pick here as well, just because it's a 2/1 with flying. But I really like this. I like the art too. Man, John Avon's the man. I kind of want one of these guys as well, but I'm going to take the Elk this time. It'll open up some fixing for us too. All right, well, there's a Wild Hunger, which is a very powerful card, and there's also a Grimflowering, which is a card that I want to try out. but I haven't actually, kind of committed to that yet. I'm going to take the Nibless now. I think that that's a perfectly fine 3-drop for our deck and just kind of exactly what we want to be doing. Wears travel preps and equipment quite well. It's not a human, but it's a spirit and gets in there. Ooh, look at that. We got a pretty cool rare. Predator Ooze is indestructible. Whenever it attacks, you put a +1/+1 counter on it, and whenever it's creature dealt damage by it dies, you get another +1/+1 counter. I'm snap taking an Ooze here. We can definitely support it too. I think we're going to be able to be pretty deep into green-white here and get him down. One of the things that I've really appreciated recently about this Predator Ooze is, so he's tough to cast, right? Like, he's not a turn 3 play unless you ran pretty good. But the neat thing about him is that he blocks really well. Look at that. He's indestructible. He holds down any vanilla creature on the ground. And then when you want to start attacking, then you can just start swinging him in and you don't care. And because he's indestructible. So I like the fact that he has a stabilization, feature to him. I think I'm going to take Hunger of the Hour Pack here. I don't really like Gravetiller Worm all that much. I mean, it's not that it's not powerful, but it's just not really what I want to do. And I don't want to get the super pump spell here. I'd rather just have the targeted one. All right, so none of this stuff is going to make our deck except for this possibly. And I think that we'll take it. Haunted Fengraf seems fine too for like grindier decks, but our deck should be much more of a curve type deck. So I'm going to take Wild Hunger here. All right, we got an Inquisitor and a Young Wolf. This guy's very good too, but we're not going to be playing him. 1-drops sure are good, but Young Wolf is not the all-time best 1-drop, I don't think. He's playable though for sure. I think I'll just take another Inquisitor there. I really like that guy. All right, I'll take the Dryad. There's a Faithless Looting, a card I want to try out more of, but ultimately no. Sweet, we got the Bear. Wow. Not that card's amazing, but we're getting some very, very playable, very, very, very playable cards very late. And now that we have a Predator Ooze, this kind of card goes up a lot. A lot. We can get him flipped and get an Ooze down. Don't even need to get him flipped. It puts less pressure on our mana base. That's a very nice pickup. We have a lot of playable cards here. All right, now we're going to be heading into the Innistrad pack after these next two, and we know what we're looking for. I mean, we've played this deck for a few months now, and we know that it's very solid and what kind of stuff we want. There's some bombs that we're looking to pick up. Most of the white cards that are rare, quite good. Oh, here we go. So what do we get? Kessig Wolfrun, an Avacyn's Pilgrim, a Hamlet Captain, a Geist Flame. We're probably going to be looking to splash red. If we want to play this Wild Hunger, we are. And then if we're going to be wanting, if we pick up like a Brimstone Volley or something like that. So the Geist Flame gets consideration. So does the Kessig Wolfrun, because again, if we're going to be looking to splash red, the problem is that, man, once you pick up cards like this, any type of splashing and any type of colorless lands just makes it like you hate your life. You just don't want to run them. We can also expect to pick up some double white mana symbols as we go, so I think I'm going to take the Pilgrim here. He's going to help ramp us. Yeah, I'm going to take him. We're going to be looking for equipment quite highly. Okay, nothing amazing for us, but we did pick up a Silver Chase Fox. He's a guy. I like him better than Anrulima by a significant margin. There's really nothing else for us here. I mean, we could splash for something crazy, but we just don't need to. Just take a solid creature. Yeah, so what I was saying is equipment. We're going to want some travel preps and or equipment to make our guys bigger and better than theirs because we're going to be a very creature-heavy deck here. I'm going to take the Feeling of Dread. There's just nothing for us in this pack. And there's a chance we splash blue instead of red. That I have no problem doing that either. There's also a chance that we just don't splash anything. I think Wild Hunger is a little underrated. I think it's very, very good. The +3 is awesome, but the +1 is like very strong. It makes it into a spell that can do a whole lot more than just get extra damage in, because of the trample. Makes it into a potential removal spell. You got to pick your spots, but you can do it. Yeah, we really want equipment in this deck. Oh my goodness. All right, so we seem to be getting cut a little bit potentially. We're not seeing the density of the cards that we want to see here, but that's okay. We're going to stick it out, and in the last pack we'll probably get there. We're seeing a lot of good blue and black down here, but we're going to take a Selfless Cathar out of this pack. Spider gets a nod too. Nothing wrong with him, but I want to keep the curve low. Speaking of keep the curve low, there's a nice Dark Thicket Wolf, so that's a really nice pickup. Great 2-drop. And there's really not much for us here. We could pick up a Harvest Pyre if we do end up splashing. We could just pick up another Selfless Cathar, but we don't want 100 of these. Like, we'll take as many Doom Travelers as we can get, but Selfless Cathars don't scale as well. All right, there we go. That's a good one. That's what we're talking about. We'll take a Moment of Heroism. That's going to act as a removal spell in a deck like this. Premium still on bombs and creature enablers like more travel preps and equipment. That's what we're really looking to pick up. I'm loving our curve right now. I'm loving our colors. Loving our creatures. Like, I really like our deck. But we just need some punch, because the fact is that curving out with 2s and 3s and maybe a 4 will get you a lot of the way towards winning a game, but it will not get you all the way. So you need a little bit more. This isn't the equipment that we're looking for. We'll pick up Purebloods up, but we're going to try to not play it. Any villagers would be great too. We'll take a Parasailing here to... if we face like a blue deck that's trying to lock us down with claustrophobias and sensory deprivations, then we can wipe those away. If we face down a deck like a Burning Vengeance deck or something, we can just wipe those away. I'm going to cut the Feeling of Dread for now. Yeah, this is coming around. It's definitely got some decent stuff here. All right, not much here. We'll just cut a Makeshift Mauler. Yeah, there's just nothing left. I don't mind cutting those devils, though, because they get in the way of our 2/2s quite effectively. All right, and Hysterical Blindness goes last. Okay, so same agenda here. Let's see what we get. More humans is fine. Grimgrin? Well, we have to pass a Grimgrin, which sucks because he's just excellent. We've got some nice choices here, though, which is cool. We've got a Galvanic Juggernaut, a Chapelgeist, or the Splash Brimstone Volley that we mentioned before. I really want the Brimstone Volley, but man, that Predator Ooze is just yelling at me a little bit here. I think second choice is going to be the Juggernaut. The Chapelgeist is excellent, but the Juggernaut is the type of card that can just take over by himself, and that has a lot of value. Man, that Brimstone Volley, though, would be really good in our deck. We're going to be able to pick up a Fixer if we want to, but again, the Predator Ooze is kind of putting some pressure. We're not viewing it as a 3-drop, but we do want to be able to resolve it at some point. Sad face. I'll take the Juggernaut here. Whoa! Wow, this thing is stacked up. We got an Elder of Laurels, a Travel Preps, and a Foil Champion. All would make the cut very easily. I am going to go with the Elder of Laurels here. We need more 3-drops, and that's the type of card that we want. Man, that thing can just turn all of our dorks into awesome guys. So he's sort of like the equipment. He's the creature enabler that we wanted. He's one of them. These packs have been pretty stacked for us. Fiend Hunter would be real good. Okay. This isn't bad. So we've got a Chapelgeist, a Rally of the Peasants, and a Voiceless Spirit. Normally I would just take the Chapelgeist here, but I think in lieu of the fact that we have a Strangleroot Geist and a Predator Ooze, I'm going to take the Voiceless Spirit. It's a little bit weaker of a card, but it's easier to cast, and it's going to keep our mana base still as just 1 white for each of our cards, as opposed to start splashing. Like, if we picked up a Fiend Hunter, that's worth it, but a Chapelgeist over a Voiceless Spirit's they're very close cards, I think, and I think that we should just try to keep our mana as good as possible. All right, I'm going to take another Pilgrim over a Moment of Heroism here. Okay, another one of these. These are all fine. They're not really what we want necessarily. All right, so a Villagers or an Orchard Spirit. I actually still like, even though Orchard Spirit has evasion, Hamlet Captain might actually be the pick. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're a Dryad? What is that? 6, 7, 8. We've got 9 humans? I've never thought of taking a Hamlet Captain over a Villagers because Villagers is such a stronger card, but I think I'm actually going to do it here because we just got so many humans. Oh, speaking of more humans, all right, Doom Traveler it is. All right, it's humans deck. We're all in. Oh, that's dirty. There's like a twinge of guilt there. That's really nice pickup. Again, our deck's very one-dimensional. It doesn't have like all of the tools or whatever, but man, the one dimension that we did get is very, very nice. Don't think we're going to need the Wild Hunger. We're definitely not going to throw a random mountain in for it. So if we do run it, it's just for +3/+1 and trample, which, might actually be worth it. We put it on stuff like Voiceless Spirit and Thalia, and all of a sudden people start feeling the pain. You can use it as a removal spell on a Selfless Cathar or on a Doom Traveler. Another decent 4-drop with the Festerhide Boar or a race changer like Knot of the Bone. Our deck is certainly not equipped to really take full advantage of Knot of the Bone, but when we have enough guys, I guess I'll take him. He's pretty powerful. Caravan Vigil or a Purify the Grave? Well, we're not splashing, so I might as well take the sideboard card. Wow. This actually might be playable in our deck without red. And it also might mean that we want to play red. That we actually might want to throw one mountain in this deck. Which kind of sucks, because then I wouldn't mind having that, that splash back, but... Scavenger? Yeah, he'll come in some matchups, but we're not going to start him. Same thing with Outcasts. We're going to keep this curve lean and mean, though. That's 30 playables right there. 28 if we cut these two splashables. I wish we picked up a Howlpack Alpha or whatever that thing's called. The 3/3 Hill Giant that gives +2/+2 and it has flash. Man, that card's a beating. I want to play with that card. I haven't gotten that one yet. Burden, Traveler, get out of here. Yeah, we'll put everybody in and then kind of pick backwards. No, not everybody, but... Sure, yeah. Get in there. You too. Oh, yeah. You're fine. Get in. Everybody have fun. Gosh, this might actually be a card. That might be something that we want to do. We don't really have a way to abuse it, but man... Trade off a bunch of dudes and then then draw like 4 or 5 cards late game. Maybe I'll board it in if a matchup's particularly grindy or something. All right, so what do we have here? We've got tricks, very minimal removal, and a ton of creatures. So we need to cut creatures. So right now the name of the game is to cut some guys. So why don't we take out these 2 pump spells though? For now. But I think we might want to do that. The Predator Ooze is sweet, but it's not like critical. I mean, we could even consider just pulling it. Like, it's not a particularly aggressive creature, but it does add a pretty nice dynamic to the game that we can't normally get. Mainly just completely halting the ground attack or acting as an inevitable finisher in like a stalled out board or a board where they have a bunch of high toughness guys and we can just start attacking with this thing every turn. Plus, I just want to try it out. If we take it, though, then we can easily put these cards in. That might actually just be better. Or we could even just still run it and just run it as a very late game play. I really want to keep this thing as low as possible. I want all the travel preps. I want all the tricks. I don't think that we need... See, and we're going to have this for the mountain, too? Yeah, I think we're going to do it. But we have 30 cards. We need to make 7 cuts, but thankfully we can make mostly creature cuts here. Like, we can definitely cut Fester, Hide, Boar. We can definitely cut Somberwall Dryad and only bring that in when we need to, namely when we're playing in a semi-mirror match here. Elder, Norl. So these are all the Ulvenwald Bear. We can probably cut. I mean, he's good, but we don't really need him that bad. We can cut one of these guys, and we have to just be aggressive here and make a bunch of cuts. I really want to keep the 3 drops intact because these 3 have flying. This one powers up our entire deck, and then this would too. I mean, this is a very, very, very strong card when you have a deck like this. We need to make a few more cuts here. I guess I can cut a Hunger of the Howlpack here. We have much better tricks than that. I like that card, but this looks pretty sweet. Still need to make try just 1 cut. I think we can get away with 16 lands with this deck. Maybe not. Wow, look at this deck. Very lean and mean. Probably cut a Selfless Cathar. I mean, I like the synergy that it has with a few things, but it's not a very powerful card overall, so I think I feel okay with cutting one of them. I do kind of want to keep the curve intact, though, beyond that. Wow, this might just be the deck right here. Something like that. I mean, the Predator Ooze is easily our loosest include, but again, I want to try it out, and I don't really feel like it's like an awful play here. Like I really feel like it's like, it'll probably get in there at some point and be okay. I do think we need to go to 17 lands, though, so I am going to cut one more creature, and I think it is going to be the other Selfless Cathar, maybe something up in here. I like the Inquisitor a lot. Might even want 2 of those. Yeah, these are just really tough cuts. I run all these creatures. They're all just very good. I guess I could cut a Moment. Moment feels pretty strong in the deck, though, although we do have a Wild Hunger, a Rally of the Peasants, a Moment of Heroism. I did cut the other one. We've got 2 Travel Preps. It's a lot of pump. I really want to try out Strangleroot Geist. I wonder if this Mountain just shouldn't be in here. I mean, if we cut the Mountain, I think we can probably still run Rally the Peasants, but I probably wouldn't cut this. I probably would cut that. If we did that, the deck would probably look something like this. Man. How important is that Mountain? We have a way to search it up. Dawn-Treader Elk. Flashing back those spells probably wins us the game. Rally the Peasants, though, with travel preps and all this stuff, probably just wins us the game on the first cast as well. This is with 16 lands, no Mountain. We could even do something like this. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. Yep, I'm going to do this. Okay, we're going to run this. We have a little bit of wiggle room here. We can play around with the deck in between. We can go a little bit bigger if we want to go with Elgod Inquisitors and Festerhide Boars. We can go a little bit more tricks if we want to go with Wild Hunger and even throw a Mountain in there for flashback on Peasants and the Wild Hunger. We can lean out the deck even more if we want. Yeah, this seems pretty sweet, though. I think this is a fine starting point for the deck. So we'll take this. See you guys in the first round.